Hello, it's your patron in residence here, Michael Francis McCarthy. What we're painting today? Forest theme with the path. It's another screen capture. They're not gonna. This is difficult to identify. Yeah, so I'm not that worried about it. Also, it's. Had something very different going on in it than what is going on now. But the basic structure of the trees is cool, and you're going to see all that in a minute when we do the color mixing. So, let's turn on our palette light. Not that that adds much light. Yeah, yesterday on YouTube, they know I like tonalism, so they showed me a course from some lady. She's got a course in tonalism. Her stuff's not bad either. Very soft. My stuff is not. It has soft elements, but I'm not a soft painter. Worth looking at. I don't know what they're charging, but hey, this is free, so. Let's keep going. Well, not free. Maybe you're paying. Maybe you are one of the blessed people who's in the members area seeing this, and I appreciate you so much. All right, we want to juice up this now. I have ordered me a little tube of my Classico burn umber. This is the Georgian burn umber. It's lighter, and that's why I'm juicing it up. But I don't really know what color. Maybe a little red. Maybe a little burnt sienna, and maybe a little black. What do you think of that? That's not too far off, eh? This is not the knife we're supposed to. This is my scraping paintings knife. So let's put that back away. Yeah. You can see it's been honed, but these break on the seams, so this is the best kind of knife for scraping the peaks off your painting. And we're going to let you go right back into your jar there, and we're going to use these stiffer knives for this sort of work. And these are going to probably last as long as I am alive. Why are you doing that? There we go. We got our oil, we got our brush already. It's a stubby. Not the stubbiest, but stubby enough. Let's get our grid going. This is a bit all in a row, except for the path, which I brought in. And it did, the original had some kind of dark, grass-covered stream. And I did do a version of that with the stream. I have my assistant. No, I don't have Photoshop to do that. I had the assistant do it, and the assistant does a very good job. It's not as convenient though, God knows. But if we're adding paths and things, I believe the engine it's using is Flux, which is a good job. Photographic. Comparable to Photoshop's generative whatever. It's better in some ways because I really did not like the paths that Photoshop gave me. Maybe they've improved that. I don't know. Either way, I'm liking this. This looks good. And you know what? I think we're going to be doing the purple thing again. I've been on a purple. I'm not going to call this purple trees or whatever, but I was messing around, just taking it out of green mode, which is my way. It was just green. Nothing else going on, so I brought in other tones. Not going to be a real horizon on this, so I'm not that worried about that. What attracts me most of the scene is the structure and layout of the trees. I added the path, which looks good. Then in the foreground, not my favorite, just a bunch of grass, but whatever, doesn't matter. We're going to make it. I've dealt with it before. I have strategies for that. And we are ready to start painting. Now I'm going to shrink my reference down really small, because really, what you want is to wow, yeah, okay. You want to see all the connective stuff. Now we're looking at intervals here. We don't want that exactly the same as that. I think I'll go a little less. This is a bit of a wider tree. Maybe I should be doing a seascape right now, but this is what I want to do. Okay, again, so what I'm looking at here is the intervals, my friends. Well, that looks good, but it's actually going the opposite direction. I had a lot of bobbles on this, by the way. This one, yeah, more like that. So see, I'm going to have some limbs. That's too much. It's not much different from the reference, but we'll stick with that for now. As a matter of fact, I don't build up this either. Just do the main. So here, a lot of times for this kind of thing, find the spot you want to head to. This is good for, by the way, if you're ever doing life drawing as well. I'm going to do the perspective trick here. Bunch of nothing. Yeah, anyway, I don't have a DVD. I did try and do some courses, but I didn't do a very good job, I guess, marketing or pricing or whatever, or there was no interest or whatever. I ain't mad. But again, I don't lie. I'd like to. You know who is it? He has a huge. They have a big YouTube presence. So every now and again, I watch their videos. But they're never. Every now and again, there is something complete. But a lot of what they're doing is giving you a taste, and then they want you to go buy the DVD for $75. And I don't know. That model's kind of. I guess it's still going. And that's fine. Buying a DVD for $75. But many of you are hungry, and who knows, she might have some good stuff. I wish I could remember her name. Much like I'm always telling you with the painting, though, and it's advice for myself too, it's like, don't compare yourself to other people and what they're doing. Don't matter. You're the only one experiencing your life. Now there's something here I like and I don't like, where there's like this bit of foliage. It's just this big circle, which I kind of like, but it has to be broken up. It's like an unbroken, like, reverse C shape. We'll just leave it there for now. These are some of the strongest trees in here. Stronger. Be careful on this kind of thing. All your trees can end up being the width that your brush goes. Sometimes you gotta double up a little. These trees we want stronger. We need that weight. There's going to be a bunch of foliage here. This looks really thin, this mixture I made, which is fine. I'm just going to leave it. Too extreme there. Glasses on for a minute now. Guess it looks like, oh yeah, like there's a whole nother thing coming there, but I think what I'm going to do is something like this. All my intervals look pretty good. So you really watch out for, like, these are almost the same, but they're not. Alright, we got our tree structure in place now. Here I'm going to stop the eye. There is some foliage there. I'm just going to stop the eye. You don't want to compare yourself to other. First of all, ain't no one ever going to be like you. You're it. So it's like a very abstract process comparing yourself to others. It's abstract and really not. It's not fruitful. You can see, obviously, I think getting the, we got to watch out because we've got that branch there doing that. If I do another one there, we're going to have another little tree in here. You'll see when you get your gander at the reference that there's a lot of openness there, and I don't mind the openness over here. I'm pretty happy with that. And one thing is, in the reference, you can see I've gotten rid of 90% of it. That's pretty thick. I'm not going to go too far right now. Yeah, you want to have your foliage dance around your trunks. Okay, we're still going. I had to make a quick little comb. All right. Well, on the reference, there's nothing opening up that bunch of foliage, but I think it's important that it's not too strong. Okay. Now getting to the bunch of nothing stuff. What was I talking about? Perspective trick. Well, we're gonna get into that. You'll see. Just reference. It's just grass. Just grass. Our path is basically where we want it. All this is going to need to be negotiated. There's nothing in the distance for us to go to or look at. Just the end of the path. No, there is actually, yes, a lighted green area. But I think I'm just going to dissolve it into light. I don't really want to get too... We're done with this grid. Let's get rid of it. Like I said, I was running into bobble problems when I was wiping the oil off. You know, little like that. Little things like that. I don't want that. Because it ends up being a permanent part of the painting for the next 500 years. See? Who's going to know who is what in 500 years? Nobody. Nobody going to know nothing like that. All they're going to know is there's a painting and there's a name on it. That's it. If the painting survives, which some of them will. Probably got more permanence than any of this digital stuff going on right now. That's too tight an area. But what I don't need right now is this grid. It's not helping anymore. Okay. What? Alright, let's try that. So yeah, just got an idea. Grass is nothing. I'm going to put that there. Give me a drop of oil. 1 drop, 2 drops, fine. Good. Be quite enough. Glasses off. I'll talk you through the perspective trick first. But, so the perspective trick is like we got nothing. It's just a bunch of grass. So you can get totally lost in it. So we know where the horizon is, give or take. You saw like I was building some, leading lines to the horizon. That's all. That's a perspective trick. That's a whole trick. Of course, you're not going to paint it like that. I'm going to paint it like this. It's been a while since you see me do this. But this is a great approach for these areas of nothing, whether they're foliage or, gosh, there's not very much paint there. That's definitely my cheapest brush. Ha ha ha. Just break shadow brush mode, which is groovy. That's groovy. Also, quick, right? What's that? Stuff I don't want to paint. Distant hills and things. I don't really want to paint it. Yeah, I don't know if that's helping. It's so amorphous in the reference. I need to pop something in there. A little scene. I don't want it though. Let's strengthen our trees a bit. We've used up our last bit of mix. I'm not going to mess around here. This is mostly just going to be darkening the and some red. What? He's going to have purple too? Sneaky. Inky. Make a bit of a stronger statement. Yeah, it's a little darker. Start over here. If you ever wonder why I'm using Mars Black, now you know. It does that. Strong. That's maybe a little too strong. We need some connecting. What I don't want is stroke, stroke, stroke on the grass. I'll do a little bit. I'll do a little bit. But I don't want the whole thing to be determined by that. That's why you see me using this side of the brush here, right? I think if I pull the foliage off right, this base back here won't matter. This is the lightest tree in the composition. Important to connect your trees, and the reference is nothing there connecting. And here's like this very sort of interesting place where it comes down to the path. And some real strength here. Well, make sure you don't just do one strong, continuous thing on a path. Paths must be broken up. And the assistant did a good job, really, because originally this was just a bunch of long grasses overhanging a stream. Now, I'm giving you this tip before on paths, you want a little inny and outy in here, right? A little back and forth of the light on the path. And of course we want a little bit with the dodge and burn tool in my graphics program. But, you know, you want some variance and not 100% consistent. I'm pretty happy with that. This has got to be broke up. Yeah, you really want this to be kind of, you want most of your compositional type stuff to be solid. Watch out for like one solid bar. We don't want that. Things broke up. Watch out for the cliche of we do some, but your grasses coming into the darks. Yeah, seems like a great way to solve problems. Good. Okay, I think we're gonna do some bushes or something. It's all quite open in the, right there, it's almost reverse of the perspective trick where, oh yeah. Nice. I'm just breaking this a little out of brush stroking mode. This is not my usual paper towel, it's a bit stiffer. It's paper towels from the washroom here, which I retain after washing my hand because they give me certain, well, first of all, I can use them to clean my brushes. Second of all, yeah, I think I'm happy with that drawing. I think it's looking pretty attractive. This might be opened up. Alright, color mixing. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the sort of amorphous thing in the back. I'll have a, well, you can't see the underpainting now, but in the center there where the lightest bit is up against the trees, yeah, also you can see how simplified I made it compared to the reference, basic structures there. Alright, sky, we turned it yellow, and we just did, that's tonal. That's tonalism, yo. Let's move off the paint more than I need. Some white. And this is without the addition of, well, not that much. Holy cow. Without the addition of some raw umber, things will look way too fakey. Okay, that's holding on to its yellow ochre identity. We're going to change it up with some CAD. That's pretty good. Maybe a little saturated. Let's bring in some more of that. Look how that kills the color. That feels far more natural. I like that. That'll be my dark sky. Night sky. And a little kiss more of the yellow. I mean a kiss. Look at that. You can see it did have an impact. That's the thing with the cats. You don't need a lot. Okay, we're going to put that little knife away because it makes serious scrapey noises that are loud. Light sky, yeah. You say, well, it's not much lighter. That's okay. It's okay. Into the darks, and I'm just going to take that color, add a little more purple. And a little bit black, and that is our official dark. It's official. Maybe a little more burn number 2. Black. You see how I push it down, spread it around. This ghost image, this sort of thing you see, that really gives you a sense of what the color is going to feel like. Thinned. And we have some pretty strong darks in the drawing. Nice. Okay. Greens. Lots of greens, but lots of purples too. And the greens are earthy. This is, my mic screen's kind of dark today. A little bit of that. Perylene, I like that. Maybe a little warmth coming in with some burnt siennas. That's good. Not much of a spread there. That's okay. I'm waking it up with Mike's gray instead of pure white. Put that over there. I'm going to take some of that and I'm going to mix it with some green. And I'm going to lighten it with this. If I bring in yellow, of course, it's just going to make a mess. Orange, though, I don't really want to highlight. I'm looking for a nice middle tone. Now, and these grasses, they're going to go gold. More gold. Yeah, I'd say for middle tone, that's good. For the greens. I'm not going to get overt with the purple. In the trunks, I will. Okay. Yeah, I'll just use my imagination. Yeah, I'm going to do light green and... Whoa. Getting some sort of drying action there. You see that? Bit of a skin. It's been a few days since I painted. I didn't paint yesterday. I came in the morning. I did coating, which is exciting. Well, it's exciting that I finally got around to doing it. And that's nice. It's a little flat and dull, so we're going to juice it up with some permanent green. See, that's how much more pretty. I don't want to get too highlighty in those trees. Whoa, not that much. That's actually pretty good. Maybe a little more Mike's green just to bring it back. Okay. Now, yeah, I don't know why I don't think about this when I'm not painting. I could have easily adjusted this in my digital photo manipulation program. But that's okay. I don't care. I'm going to just do it now. I was just talking about this. I passed this tip along, I think I'm a couple ahead on the easel talks now. So, I believe I passed this tip along. So we're talking grasses instead of green. I'm going to bring in a tiny bit of green. Dark grass tone. Okay, well, I don't see the green in that. Well, that's the idea. I don't want you to see the green, but I wanted it tempered somewhat. In fact, I think I can bring in even more green. There we go. That's kind of... I don't want it to be completely, crazy rust bright grass. I want it to go in slightly brown. That's a great rust. That's a great grass color there. Medium grass tone. Same deal. I'll bring in some green. nice. And I'm not going super, kind of like, it's not that kind of painting where I'm doing all these strong, well, in the background, actually I am. In the background, I'm going to be bringing in these light greens there that are going to tie into the sky color. We're talking about grass right now. Nice, a little bit of that. See there, I tempered it with the permanent greening, like just a kiss, knock some of that. That's grass, okay? And we're going to use a bit of that to, so we're going to go for that. We're going to go for that in a green. See, that don't look very green to me. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And I always hold off till I have to throw in some white. That's distant grass, distant things holding things together, and you can see the value is very similar. That's gonna work. Okay, we're out of here. It's off to lunch now. Off to lunch, my friends. And we'll be back. We're gonna make a painting this afternoon. Tomorrow is might be another painting tomorrow, or it might be cooking day. We'll see. Either way, I'll be in the morning. So, but who cares? We're talking about today right now. And today we're gonna come back after lunch. God willing, I'm gonna leave this palette out, so I have to come back. Because it's sitting here dry, and otherwise it's a big waste. I don't want to waste a little soybean oil here, clean things up. No blue, you see, my blue dried, but I don't need no blue for this painting, so I didn't put any out. Okay. All right, check out the book. 13 years of accumulated painting knowledge about how to work in a tonalist way. All in one book, and I will send it to you anywhere on the planet for $65 US, and international shipping's included. We got demonstration. Hello, back from lunch. Just thought of a little bit of a strategy here. Remember I was wrangling with that area in the back. I know I don't want anything overt like any mountains or whoa, that's too far. But I was thinking maybe before I go with the sky, that's very much like this is kind of a neutrally toned. Now it's leaning a little purple. This is a brush I was thinking of. It's my new one. It's a Signet Robert Simmons Filbert. Very nice. Very nice. Very long. Probably a touch dark. What got me thinking about this is like when you saw me rubbing the drawing with the paper towel to give it that diffuse quality. I think that was working nice. So, in a sense, I'm trying to bring in some of that. And it's the first time I've really done this, so it's new technique. Maybe it'll work. We just threw a painting away this morning. It went in the trash. Day before that, when I was in the studio, I broke it up. Waterfall. Some of you may have seen it in the background. Some of my easel talks. It's history. It's dead. It's gone. It had many good attributes, but in the end of the day, I couldn't pull it off, and it was just tormenting me. And much like I'm always telling you guys, don't torture yourself. Just lose them. Get rid of them. That's what I've done. I feel better. Already the video was gone because it went so long. Okay, that's way too flash. I know I want some color, but the toe in this brush is doing some interesting stuff. I mean, I'm doing interesting stuff with the toe. Without me, I wouldn't be doing much of nothing. You don't see me do this often. But so just help me with this. It looks like it's detail, but really what I'm trying to do is go for broken color. So I'm going to come in with my lightest here in a minute, but nice. Okay. Like I said, you don't see me do it often, but I'll do whatever I gotta do when I gotta do it. Now I left that area that way. It's actually you get so used to it, right? You don't realize it's going to be brighter. I tell you, in this lady I was telling you about the with the toneless thing, one thing she did really was a giant amount of impasto paint in her highlight area, and I just think that's a bad plan. Unless your old painting is impasto. I'll be honest with you, I'm honest with you, but when I saw that, I just turned it off. I was like, yeah, that's her idea. For my part, I would have told you, don't do it. Okay, we're not done. You know, that's pretty much it for the sky. I mean, we will do things. We got to leave room for foliage. I do think it was a good idea bringing in that purple. It's just another layer of foliage. I'm happy with that. I'll leave that for now. Yeah, actually, I'm no fan of impasto at all, because to me, it's... I mean, I don't mind it in someone like Van Gogh. In fact, he pulls it off, which is saying something, because most of the time, people try it, it just doesn't come off. Okay, we may end up even going a little lighter back there. We'll see. That's it. This guy's in. I'm pretty happy with it. I think the effect is looking pretty good. We might just go ahead and... Now, when you do this, you're not watching me, but I'm wiping it off constantly. Otherwise, you end up putting paint down where you don't want it. that's looking good. We're creating some more of a pattern here that we might want. Just saw that in the camera. It's still there, but yeah, that's cool. Okay, we are too long. We're looking for a normal foliage brush now. That's our trickle. A little less long. Same sort of thing as we were using, except that we're doing our darkest darks. Yeah. Kind of like I did. This is painting is one of these for changing things up. I think we can use our sky brush here. And we're resetting with full purple because that was the purple I had, which doesn't look at all purple, does it? Let's get into what I want. Before I do the darks, let's go to a darker. Yeah, I don't want it everywhere. Mostly it was these guys. Okay, that is still our sky brush. Good. Oh, no. Yeah, you're a little big for my dark brush. Let's get you. I'm gonna use this. It's been worn down a little bit. It's a long filbert, but it's a 0 trickle. And we should be able to do some sideways action with this if we need to. I think this darks look pretty good. Liking that. The heck? Oh shoot. I made you dirty for no reason. Just seeing some. I want patterns, but I don't want them overt. I don't want anything jumping out of this. We got greens, we got all kinds of stuff to go, but you can see the whole foundation of the painting is basically set up between the interplay between these darks and these lights, and that's one reason why I wanted to get that purple in early. And you can see it's a lot more difficult to put the purple over the dark. I don't mind a lot of dark trees, that's fine. We're good. And we will be doing some of that, the old put the foliage over the top trick. Okay. I don't know why I got this brush out, just to, yeah, whatever. It's too big. Every other brush I'm using on this painting is small-ish. Not tiny, but definitely small. Okay, now the greens is really going to change the whole feel of everything. It's going to be so beautiful. Not you, you're my sky brush. Where are you? Trickle. Oh, there you are. Trickle. Dark green. Really show. Yep, that's good. This is designed to start covering up areas I've left. We have a lighter green, so I don't want to go too far. The people with their music, I admit it annoys me. Turn my music off before I drive in this place, but hey. Yeah, remember we are going rust here, but even the rustiest deadest grass will have living grass in and amongst it. It's pretty good with the darks. Not that this is much lighter, but I'm assuming there's some kind of spread. Oh, I see. That was my purple. Too light now. Yeah, I got all kinds of reference, but this I came across yesterday, and many times I noticed that. You see a scene. I developed it this morning. I just saw the potential in the scene last night. Clipped it. I did run over to my assistant and have this path added. And then this morning, when I'm thinking when I want paint, I had a whole folder full of like images that I'd messed with. But then I remembered, oh yeah, there's this one. It's actually two. One has an actual stream. This one had a stream in it. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, let's do some grass now. That is the purple that I made this into. That was supposed to be my grass color. I think it's still pretty good for that. Way too light. Dry. Let's see how to go with this. That's a tiny bit of that cat, which is mostly dry, but that's the color I want. Kind of like a board color, really. Variation thereof. That's nice. Nice. Don't know if I have a need for that purple, so I'll just throw you up there. Maybe you make it in the next painting. Yeah, I want it lighter, but not. I don't want to start off that light. It's a bit busy. Okay, let's do the path. Oh, that purple. Mm-hmm. The one I put here. Nice. Okay, and then we have that other color, which is gone. That's okay. It turned into this. Whoa, that's not good. It's green. That's basically, I mean, it wasn't far off, but. And the reference, it's just straight up pink as. Thought that was gonna be brighter, but I think it will be good down here. Yeah, I like the lightness. I want to keep some of it, but I gotta blend in the edges. Not too blendy, because it's a path. We expect it to be a little bit rough. thing was looking a little too straight liney. That should do. I mean, the general feeling's in keeping with the rest. Make it a little brighter on the top of that path. Time for the really bright green that's back there. Okay. Which, you know, if it doesn't work, we're fucked. Sorry. I get one swear word per a video, and I haven't used any for many videos, so. And we still have the lightest grass to do. And a little bit more with the darks. And you know, just more in general. But we're getting quite close indeed. Alright, there's my light green. I don't even mind adding some of that sky to that. Yeah, that's working great. We're barely even asking any questions about what's going on back behind there. I think that's great. Now, lightest color for the grass, which it doesn't look like it exists. This is not gotten used. We might still use it though. Some highlights on the trees. I'm not as interested in that though as I am in highlights on the grass. I'm gonna do it. Start with this color. That's kind of what's left of the grass color. A bunch of orange. That's pretty close. I don't have any yellow ochre left. Fairly bright. I may not seem that bright. Also, we need a good amount of oil in that. I don't want to, basically, I don't want to lose what I got. I just want to take it a little further. And before we do that, we're going to do a little more. Maybe too bright. Yeah. Pretty happy with that. Be careful you don't over blend, over smooth. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We are almost done. Now I'm going to come in with some more darks now, a little bit, just to even things out a little. Too sloppy. Alright, we try a little more lightness in some of the tree bits, and then I think we are done. I still have this light green we mixed. That's a powerful technique. Easy to overdo. Brush has been wiped. I'm going to go a little brighter on that. Into that path. I shouldn't have. I made a mark. I shouldn't have. A couple marks. Right here. I don't want to interrupt that. Okay, so that big brush won't be good for the softening, but I think we do need to do a little bit more. It's a very brushy painting, which I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind a certain amount. If I hadn't been tempering it all the way through, we could have a lot more of an issue. So what we're going to do now is be more strategic. Careful at this point. Well, be careful the whole way through, but you know what I'm saying. liking this painting. Well, I did a seascape, the last one I did, and I didn't know how much I liked it. But coming today, it's really impressing me. Which is good. That's better than it bringing you down. Just clean up that edge. Just in case whoever buys this wants to frame it in a cradle. That was just oil I added. Yeah, diminishing returns now, so. Okay. All right, that's it. See ya. Bye. Right, this painting's done, but looking at it last night, okay, you guys may not be aware, I'm working at, actually if you look at some of the easel talks, you can see my setup. My easel is at probably like a 26-degree angle. I don't know my angles all that well, but it's a significant angle, and the reason I do that is for you, so that the painting looks nice and straight. I will just use some of this. If you don't have burnt umber, you can always just use a little raw umber with some burnt sienna, a touch of black. Mostly I'm looking for a black. Okay, so what's wrong? Why is this back? This painting's done. I don't really want to do anything else to it. But because of this angle, sometimes it's very hard for me to judge these trees. And I definitely spotted. In fact, I'm not doing much painting. That's why we just have our... I don't want to contaminate this paint. I mean, this medium. So this won't take long, and hopefully it's dry enough. Well, I'm very happy with the painting. I think it's quite nice. And I'm going to do a couple of things. One, mostly we got to straighten out these main trunks, and I did experiment with Photoshop. I ain't gonna work. We're gonna do it like this. Look at this, folks. How crooked is that? Not crooked, just slanted. It doesn't mean you need to do everything. This one's a little too light. This one too. You can have quite a few slanted trees, don't get me wrong, but this had too many. I think that'll do it. Oh yeah, that's bad. Looks like I still got a little. This is like our main tree, and see what I'm saying? I don't have to do all that. Okay. That's it. Okay. Oh yeah, way better, way more solid. You know, it's close. I got tempted to let it go, but you know, easy fix. And fortunately, the painting looks fine today. It's not too matte. Okay, so little quickie lesson, and well, you probably won't have that problem because most likely you're painting straight on. But it crops up, and if you look at, I think even in my book, you can see a place where in my underpainting stage, I actually ruled straight lines just to make sure I wouldn't do that on the trees. It can happen. It can happen with this kind of thing pretty easy, actually. Okay, take good care. Stay out of trouble.